going on, 208? Happy to have you here on this Sunday evening. We are live, ready to rock and roll. Tons of news. We have tight end rankings for you. Maybe some surprises. We're gonna surprise you. I'll tell you what. It is August. It's time to stop fooling around. It's time to lock in because drafts are going right now. So we are here for you. Let's do it live right now. Justin, good to see you. Hey, everyone. If you want to hang out with us, hit that subscribe button, like the channel. Just helps us out a little bit. And look, more than anything else, we just want to talk football. That's all we want to do. We enjoy it. So, Justin, how was your evening going this evening?
Good. We're so close to 100 too, Matt. We're 3 away. Almost to 100.
Oh, man.
So Matt's selling us a little short. We're almost there.
Yeah, somebody lock us in. Let's go. Let's get us to the C note, right? Let's get us to the century mark. That'd be a lot of fun. Nor do we really care too much about it. We're just going to talk football anyway. So, but we sure do love our community for sure here at the 208. Justin, how you doing this evening? Got much going on, or just hanging out for the evening?
We got back from Montana yesterday. My wife went down there for some work stuff, so it's a nice 4-hour drive. I like Missoula a lot. Probably one of the only other states I would probably live in is in Montana. It's super pretty there. So.
Yep, agreed. Montana is absolutely gorgeous. Myself, just a Sunday afternoon of cleaning. All right, hey, let's get into it. And hopefully we'll get a Chance sighting tonight. There is a chance we'll see Chance. Oh, no pun intended. All right, let's get into some news.
What's going on?
What do you got for us, Justin?
It seems like there's just a ton of injuries, and it's a little stressful. So I follow a couple guys on X that give out just like a huge, it's a couple paragraphs long. So a few injuries here. Shakir, our guy from Boise State, did something to his ankle. Probably going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. Isaiah Likely has, I think, a fractured ankle right now is what they're calling it. They said 4 to 6 weeks. A big one, I think, that is worth monitoring and very scary for at least 2 players. Matthew Stafford went and saw a back specialist today, and it seems like there are some issues with that. It is a little scary. They're being very hush hush on it. So if you are playing Superflex and you are playing a Dynasty, I strongly suggest picking up Jimmy Garoppolo right now, just as a contingency plan. Terry and Micah both have some trade requests. If you saw my video, my short on that. If you didn't, please look at it. There was a couple things that I thought were interesting about the trades. Another one, Jaden Reed from the Green Bay Packers is still not seeing sets into wide receiver sets. So it's just Romeo Doubs and Matthew Golden.
Interesting.
If you're a Jalen Reed guy, if you hold him, it just sucks. I don't know what to tell you. If you drafted Matthew Golden in your Dynasty League, that looks really good. And Romeo Doubs right now is going super, super late. I think he's a really good pickup right now. If you are drafting right now, you're going to get him probably with your last pick. James Cook, like Matt likes to say, is holding in. So he is at practice, but not participating. It's kind of the same thing Mike is doing. He's there, not practicing.
I believe Cook said he's holding in for all business. So
yeah.
Ray Davis on the rise.
Yes, sir. Kenneth Walker, like every year, is dealing with some kind of injury, which sucks because I'm pretty high on him. I want to see him do well. We'll see. Tucker Kraft is a guy that we'll talk about tonight. He is missing time with a groin injury, I believe. Cam Scadaboo, I think one of Matt's guys, is injured as well. And then a cool training camp footage. Patrick Mahomes threw just a bomb to Isaiah Pacheco, and I'm like, uh-oh. I talked a little bit about him in my shorts. I don't think they're going to be that scared to throw him the ball. So just be aware of that.
And we did go through our quarterback rankings. We are a fan of Mahomes in round 5. Certainly, we think there's tons of upside there. So it is a tight end day. We are going to give you all our rankings on our tight ends. I will tell you, we different than mainstream. That's just the way it rolls. We don't like the cookie cutter stuff that they do. We are going to show you what we have, share it with you so you can, win your league. It's all about the bragging rights when you win your leagues. It's just so much fun. You get that euphoria all year long, and just whatever, 2-time champ, 3-time champ, whatever it looks like. So let's get into the tight end rankings and get this thing started. Let's go. All right, tight end rankings with our little football guy. I need to give him a name. I don't know if somebody's got a name. I'd love to give us throw some in the comments. We'll name him. I think it should come from you guys for sure. All right, let's get into it. But have a little something different for you this time. And I was showing Justin. These are your results from last year of half PPR. There's not a ton of difference from half PPR and full PPR other than the total points, but the rankings are pretty much the same. Non-PPR, I don't know who's playing non-PPR anymore. Although I think I am in one league, and it's a bunch of old guys from, that still do things from paper when we did it 100 years ago. So some things we found interesting on this. Your top three, nothing big. Jonnu Smith was one last year that surprised a lot of people. There was a few people that got that right. We were not one of them, but he is not going to repeat. The reason being, you can see the 10th rank there was Pat Freiermuth. These two are going to cancel each other out. There's no need to either one of these get either one of these tight ends, because it's gonna go back and forth all season, and they're going to be outside your top 12. When you're looking at tight ends, you're really just looking at top 12. You can look at 13 through 24 as a flex, but you're really just looking at top 12. K. Dotton, I have him highlighted here as well, just because he did really well last year. Got 13th because the wide receivers were out. Evans and McMillan were out, which boosted his value. So another thing that I just wanted to talk about, Justin, I want your opinion on it. When you look over in the far right column, which is fantasy points per game, and you see the top there, it's intriguing. Where do you need to be for your tight end to say, hey, I'm comfortable with them being a top 12 tight end this year? Because I think we both agree points were down last year for tight ends.
100%. I think 8 points is what you're looking at. I think a big thing for me as well as this overall targets. Ideally, you do want your tight end to get probably like 8 targets a game, but if they're getting 4 or 5 targets a game, I'll probably take that. Like, I think that's what I want, is a lot of usage. I think that's the most important thing for me.
Yeah, but a couple more call-outs that I want to call out. If you look at number 11 is David Njoku. He averaged 10.6 yards per game. He only played 11 games. Imagine if he would have played a little bit more. I'm a little bit down on Njoku. I'm not as high because I really like Fannin. I think Fannin could be a heck of a tight end, and it might be early on Njoku again, and then Fannin steps up later. So understand that. There was one more call-out we wanted to bring up, and I believe it was Pitts. Justin, you want to talk about Pitts there for just a minute?
It's just weird, like if you look at like the receptions to target ratio, like they're usually missing maybe like 30% of their targets. So like Brock Bauer or George Kittle missed maybe 20 balls, Trey McBride missed maybe 30. It's like Kyle Pitts missed half of his. I just don't understand that stuff. Like, again, as being as glued as I am to Falcons camp, he's getting a lot of talk, a lot of pub, especially with Mooney maybe missing a game or maybe starting slow. He could be that guy over the middle. I feel like Kyle Pitts and Drake London are a little bit redundant on each other. They kind of work the same portions of the field. But Penix was very adamant about him staying, and there's been some trade rumors, and he really wants Kyle Pitts there. And I feel like Kyle Pitts is one of those players that it's his contract year. He's going to ball out as hard as he can to get that paycheck. Like, he has to ball out to get a paycheck. So I think that's one thing to pay attention to. I am by no means being the stamp of approval that you need to go draft Kyle Pitts, but I think in redraft leagues, again, if you don't come away with those top 12 guys and you wanted to take a dart throw, I think he probably has the most upside of all those guys below him.
Yeah, I also want to throw up here Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews was tight end number 5, but take a look at his touchdown total. 11 touchdowns on 55 receptions. That's incredibly high ratio. And understand, if you look down at Likely, who was 16, so he had 2 tight ends that were fantasy viable, right? But I like Isaiah Likely. We're going to talk about him later. I know he's injured, but I just don't think Mark Andrews will keep that touchdown volume up. That's a really, really high volume for touchdowns.
And one more thing about Mark Andrews, like I think probably 90% of the community dropped him after week 4, after he gave us one more one more goose egg, back-to-back goose eggs against Dallas and Buffalo, and then his last games, week 6 through 18, he had a touchdown every game except for 2 weeks. That is not sustainable at all. So just be aware of that. Isaiah Likely is a guy they've been high on. They want to get a contract extension. If you remember last year, they talked a lot about maybe trading Mark Andrews, moving on from him. I think Isaiah Likely is that guy, but the bone fracture does scare me a lot. Not so much Matt. He's a lot lower in my rankings than he would be if he wasn't injured. So just be aware of that.
Yep. So we're going to move into the rankings here, but just kind of take a mental note of this, and we can certainly refer back to it as we go through. But a couple of other guys, Zach Ertz, Tucker Kraft, Hunter Henry, keep an eye on where we have them listed in our rankings as well. So, and again, we had none of these there's no rookies in this because this was last year. So let's get into our first 1 through 4. These are chalk. I think everybody has these right here: Bowers, McBride, Kittle, and Laporta. Justin, thoughts on any of these that you're good with this 1 through 4?
Yeah, I'm pretty good on any of you guys taking any of these. I think Sam Laporta is just like he's like, I don't know what the right word. It's not boring, but like he was so good his rookie year, and it's just like, man, he's just in a tough offense. I feel like if he was in any other situation, we would be talking about him with Brock Bowers, with Trey McBride, but like there's just a lot more mouths to feed in that offense. But he's a good tight end. I think 5th round is a really good price. I think George Kittle's at a good price. I think Trey McBride is the number 1 tight end this year. But our consensus ranking with Brock was just a little bit higher. I think they are a 1A, 1B. But I think any of these guys at price right now, I think you take any of them.
Yeah, I love Brock Bowers a ton. I do. But he led that team. If you go back and look at receptions, he just had a load. I'm nervous taking him in the 2nd round, and unless it's back end, there's other guys that I like in that complete 2nd round that I don't really want Bowers, and I can wait till 3rd, 4th, or 5th round to pick up my tight end and kind of go from there. And we'll talk about it as we go. If you pass on tight end, you need to pick up a couple later. So, but for me, I'm going to pass on Bowers in the 2nd round. Other people will want to do it. I think that's great, but for me, I'll wait.
Can I give you some names on the Bowers one?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah,
Drake London.
Yeah, for sure. That's yes, Drake London. For sure.
Devon Achane.
I'll take Achane.
AJ Brown.
Yep, I want AJ Brown.
Ladd.
No, I'll take Bowers.
Okay, so I think the other thing to kind of counterpoint Matt's feel about it is everybody's scared about Genty coming in, or Jacoby, or Besh, or Thornton, but you guys have to understand, like, he gets a huge upgraded quarterback. Like, the targets, like, the value of the target is going to be so much better this year. I get, like, Genty should have at least 300 touches this year at the very minimum, but, like, don't sell Bowers on that. I kind of agree with Matt on that. You guys saw me in my mock take him a little bit early. I am kind of switching that, just adjusting it a little bit, just going through these tight ends and what I like, what I don't like.
Yeah, and Chance joining in from comments here. He hates Laporta this year. And I would imagine because of just a change, right? Offensive coordinators changing, lose your center, that type of stuff. So completely understood, Chance, completely understood. Getting on to 5 through 8, and I know, Justin, you want to talk about one of these guys here we'll get to, but we have Hawkinson, Ingram, Andrews, and Kelsey. And I wish Chance were on. Unfortunately, he's not. But Chance, while you're on the comment section, I would love your take on Ingram with the Broncos. So type that up real quick. Well, I want to talk about Mark Andrews a little bit more, just because I'm just not that high on Mark Andrews. Older tight end. I still think Likely will be the guy. He's only going to probably miss a week or two and come back. This is not a major injury. I don't think he's had the surgery yet. It would probably be this week sometime, but I am not worried about Likely, and I think Andrews falls. I do have him at 7, or we have him at 7, but he is much, much lower on my ranking than the rest. So just keep that in mind. Early on, Andrews might be the guy, but I really, really like Likely. Justin, do you want to talk about Kelsey real quick?
Yeah, Kelsey, I keep like coming around to him. I think the biggest thing for me is like he had such an outlier touchdown season this year with just 3. I think that's the lowest he had since his 3rd year in the league, where he had 4. Um, I think Rashid Rice took a lot of his work, and with Rashid Rice, I think it's gonna happen. I'm gonna gamble on it. If it doesn't happen, I mean, most of you guys shouldn't draft till about preseason. I mean, till the preseason is over. I think it'll get handed down before then. But when it does, and if it does, I think his rounds are just gonna go crazy up. I think maybe 5th, 4th round. Him and Rashid Rice work the same part of the field. I think he's gonna get a ton more touches. Once Rashid Rice got hurt, he started to really see his uptick in targets. So Rashid Rice got hurt in, I believe, week 3. So he's had 7, 9, 4, 10, 14, 8. And it just goes like that target-wise. So that's what we're looking for. We want to see the touchdowns go up. It's kind of the same space as Trey McBride did. They just didn't have a ton of touchdowns. I'm all in on Travis Kelce this year.
Fair enough. We haven't really talked about TJ Hawkinson here. We have him number 5. You want to talk about why we think we have him at 5 here? I'd probably give you a hint.
I think Jordan Addison being out again, guys. I'm just trying to target that. Like he should be the number 2 guy in that offense. Again, he's super vanilla, like Laporta. Comes from the Lions, got traded over to the Vikings. Remember, he is a year and a half, 2 years removed from his devastating knee injury. So I think right now he should be a focal point. He should be a safety net for JJ to start out. That's what you see a lot of those young quarterbacks really rely on their tight ends to start out.
Yeah, I agree. And remember, you have a rookie quarterback that will also target the tight end as a safety blanket. So Chance, I'm going to let Chance give an opportunity just to talk about Ingram, because he is the Broncos guy through and through, bleeds it. It's hard not to get excited about the Joker role in Peyton's offense. He and his explosive athlete, and even though Mims, Vele, Franklin are emerging, Ingram is the second most experienced pass catcher on that team. For sure, I think they will absolutely utilize the tight end in this offense. I think there's probably argument to be made whether he's the Joker role or RJ Harvey could be the Joker role.
Yeah, there it is. That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, but nonetheless, this offense is going to be explosive, and the defense is probably even better. So I'm looking forward to them taking a step. Ingram coming off, I think it was a couple years ago, he had a really, really good campaign with the Jaguars. He is more than capable, for sure. So be on the lookout. We all like Ingram. And in the 7th round, if you want to pull the trigger on that, I am certainly okay with it. Justin, let me ask you, because both Andrews and Ingram are both going in the 7th. Who would you rather have?
This is tough, especially with the likely news. I think it really tips, because like before the injury, I was all Evan Ingram all the time. Evan Ingram is a target merchant, so he just catches a ton of balls, doesn't break a lot of tackles. His yards per catch aren't crazy. It was 7 yards last year, 8 yards before that. I would probably go Mark Andrews to start. I feel like that Denver offense, it scares me because it's the reverse of the Bengals offense. Like, their defense is going to be so good, guys. Like, you guys have to understand, like, they're not going to be a fantasy-friendly offense because they don't need to score the ball a ton. I think they'll be leading a lot of games where they don't need to throw the ball a ton. So I think that's my biggest hiccup with Evan Ingram. I think to start out the year, I was like, man, like Evan Ingram's going to ball out. But I think right now I'd probably go Mark Ingram. If we were in a draft right now, I'd probably go Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram, Mark Andrews?
Mark Andrews, sorry.
Okay. So I'll spin it one more then. If you're going to take Mark Andrews in the 7th, would you rather have Kelce in the 6th or Mark Andrews in the 7th?
Kelce.
Okay.
Kelce for sure.
Good to know. There you are. And I am a little bit lower on Kelce for sure. I want to see what Royals will do. I think that kid is special out of Utah State. So,
yep.
9 through 12, Warren, Njoku, Loveland, Kincaid. And you can see what round you got to pick him up in. And we're talking about our guy Loveland with the Bears. He has already taken first team reps. He is in the mix. I saw he had a couple catches already at camp. He looks good. He looks healthy. It is the Bears. So we'll see. I can see him easily being a top 10 tight end this year, depending on what happens. Now, there is a lot of mouths to feed. I don't know, but in the 10th round, that's pretty late. I'm okay with it. I like Loveland a lot here in the 11th spot. I'm good with that. Justin, give me your thoughts on Kincaid, who we have at 12, with now that we know the injury of our Boise State alum.
It just feels like we might have been a year early on tight end. I feel like we've been spoiled on tight end the past couple of years. So I think being patient on Kincaid, I am very adamant you need to spend a single digit round pick, so 9 and above on a tight end this year. You have to. Like, there's no getting lucky. Like, the tight ends are where they're at because of a reason. Like, there is a very specific reason why they're there. They're going to be the top 12 drafted guys are probably going to be the top 12 scorers. That's just how it is with tight ends. So if I'm going to pick a onesie position such as tight end or quarterback early, it's going to be tight end.
That's fair. That's fair. I like Kincaid. I think if I'm going to hold, he will be my first one off the board in the 11th spot. I just know I've got to pick somebody up behind him for sure. And there's a couple for sure as we go on. So give me your thoughts on Warren. What are they going to do with Warren in Indianapolis?
Man, some of his highlights, I'm like, holy crap. Even like the Boise State game where he just mossed our safety, I was just like, dude, this kid's a freak. I think the biggest turn off when he got drafted to the Colts was he's not going to get that wildcat package that he got at Penn State, which sucks. I don't think he's going to get any rushing attempts because why would you give the ball not to JT or not to A-Rich, which I'm pretty high on A-Rich right now. I think he's going to win that starting position. I think he'll be fine. I think he's getting gassed up over Loveland a lot faster than I thought he would. Again, I probably won't have any shares of Warren this year. That's just my thoughts. I think Josh Downs is probably that guy. There's a lot of question marks on the offense overall, but there's not a lot of people in that offense that I want in general.
Here's my take on this. So to me, Warren is the closest to Taysom Hill as there is in the NFL, right? So if things get a little sideways, if there's some injuries, I would not be surprised if they start doing some stuff for him. Taysom Hill, is different. No other tight end does that, but Warren could be. And we'll see if they utilize that. But at the 9 spot, it's possible. I don't mind taking a flyer on him. If I could get Loveland and Warren together, I might do that. I'm a little bit nervous about getting 2 rookies together, but yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But I do like Warren. I like Loveland a little bit better. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but that's okay. But you're right, Warren. These are your 2 best rookie tight ends coming into this season. So I got one more little. These are your potential league winners for sure. Chance had Ingram. Kelsey had was picked by Justin and myself. I got Kincaid. So I like Kincaid a lot this year. They got to utilize him, and let's move on to the next round. But we got a little supplies. Let's get him at it. Chance, you made it, my friend.
Oh, he's here.
There he is.
Let's go.
Oh gosh, he figured out his technical difficulties. Look at that.
I'll tell you what, that was.
Hey, tell us about Evan Ingram and how I just hate him.
I understand that you hate him, but also, I think unfortunately for me, I'm optimistically pessimistic about RJ Harvey. I'm kind of a Harvey hater. And so I just think J.K. Dobbins is really good. And I think that I just think Evan Ingram's going to be that Joker guy. I just think that he's going to fill a role that's going to be much needed. And we didn't see Bo Nix with a competent tight end last year. And I'm just really excited to see what that looks like in a Sean Payton offense that has always utilized tight end. Just always. And he didn't have that last year. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we will certainly find out. Moving on to our next round, 13 through 16. We are sliding in. Here is Likely, Kraft, Pitts, and Taylor. Isaiah Likely I already talked about. He is injured. He's got his little injured emoji next to him. We've already kind of got that. I do want to talk about Kraft a little bit. Now, if you were paying attention, the very first slide, Kraft finished as tight end, I believe 6, and we have him dropped all the way to 14. Now I'm going to pick Justin's brain here a little bit why we have him so low. And then I'll spin it to Chance for him as well.
Listen, I don't think he should be that low. Like, I think I had him decently high. I can't remember. Maybe I didn't have him. I don't know. The thing is with Tucker Kraft, like, he makes dudes miss. He's a super athletic tight end. Luke Musgrave was supposed to be that guy out of Oregon State because they went back-to-back tight ends in the second and third round, I believe, a couple of years ago. And Musgrave just couldn't keep healthy. Again, this offense, Green Bay, it feels like there's 7 different dudes that can lead them in receiving week to week, and that scares the crap out of me. Could be Matthew Golden one week, could be Jalen Reed one week, could be Romeo Dobbs, could be Tucker Kraft, could be Musgraves, could be Josh Jacobs. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen. If anything in this offense is going to be good, it's going to be Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love. So, like, I think that's why we probably have him super low. I probably won't have a lot of shares of him. Again, I am very adamant about taking a tight end early. I don't think you should take dart throws on any of these guys.
Chance, anything to add to that?
I mean, I think there's a couple of these late round guys. One that we'll talk about that I think is worth a good dart throw. A couple, but I disagree with you. I couldn't name the wide receiver 1 in Green Bay right now. I just couldn't. And I don't.
Yeah, 4 twos. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I never thought Matthew Golden was a wide receiver 1 material when they drafted him, and I could be totally wrong on that, but I just don't think he is. And then you also have the development of, another year of development of Dobbs, Reed, Wicks. I don't know, Watson's probably hurt again. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you're totally right. Your fantasy gold on this team could be Jordan Love. I know Lineberry is hoping and praying for one of his fantasy leagues that it is Jordan Love, and he finally has a QB1 on his team. But
Michael Penix, according to Matt.
Yeah. But I think I would totally agree. Tucker Kraft is a great baller. He's a great football player. He's just in a system that I don't trust to get him the targets to make him a tight end 1.
Yep, certainly agree. And I won't go a whole lot further. I don't like him in the 10th round. I don't like him. I think he should be lower than 14. He could, you're right, he could end up being tight end 5 again. I just don't see it. There's too many mouths to feed. I believe, because I'm going to go to the next guy, because this is Justin's guy. He's been waiting for him to break out for 10 years, because it feels like he's been in the league for 10 years. Pitts. I think Pitts will actually beat Kraft this year. He's a little bit lower than in this ranking just because of our consensus. The reason why I said this is a make or break season for him. If he does nothing, they move on from him. So he has to be able to do something. I know him and Penix have been connecting, have been talking a lot. So there's optimism there for Kyle Pitts. Justin, anything to add?
He's 24. He's 24 years old. Like, and this is his 4th year. They declined his 5th year option. If he wants to get paid, he better ball out. Like, that's end all be all. Penix has been on it about him. The reporters, our training camp guys, were just saying like, "Oh, he's playing wide receiver snaps, all this stuff." And I'm just like, "Listen, he's just got to do it. Like, it is what it is. Like, he's got to go out there and ball." But I don't have a ton of faith in him. The guy behind him, I like a lot. I think that's one of Chance's guys too. Is Mason Taylor. So we'll see what happens.
Let's jump right into it.
My only comments on Pitts. Pitts feels like the Saquon Barkley of tight ends, right? Like get him on a good team, and he's going to be really good.
Ouch. Like I do think the change of scenery, to a different team, would be substantially better.
And honestly,
it doesn't fit what we do at all.
His variance this year is, to me, he has the highest variance in all the tight ends here, because Michael Penix could be the key that unlocks the Kyle Pitts that we've been waiting for forever. You could have just waited, could have been needing that Penix key, and we just won't know. If it doesn't happen this year, I totally believe that he could go to another team and be unbelievable.
Scary good.
For another 5 years.
Yep, it's very possible somebody's got to believe in him too, and he's got to believe in the system. But I do want to go over to Mason Taylor, 6'5", 251 out of LSU. Really is the only person in tight end in a Jets uniform that's probably going to be worth anything. Chance, I know he's your guy. I like him too. 16 is probably reasonable for him. For me, tell us why you like him.
Can you name the wide receiver 2?
This was the exact question I was going to ask.
In the Jets. name the Jets wide receiver 2.
It's Josh Reynolds. Don't
It's-
put that in.
It's or Alan Lazard. It could be Malachi Corley season. Like they don't have anyone. And Mason Taylor didn't put up outstanding numbers at LSU, but he was behind. I mean, he was fighting for targets with Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors, right? Like he was fighting for targets and playing on a team that produces the
Jack
best
Besh.
wide receivers.
Jack Besh too. Don't forget him.
Jack Besh for sure. Okay. So to me, I look at him and I say, one of the things that I love the most about Mason Taylor, and this only goes so far in football, but in football, it goes a long ways. He comes from a professional family, right? He comes from a football family. He's going to know how to handle being a pro. He's going to know how to handle, workouts and reps and being part of a team. And I think he has every opportunity to be the second highest target receiver on the Jets team. And Justin Fields has a track record of feeding his tight ends, right? In Chicago, he did a good job throwing to the tight end. He did a decent job last year, his short runway with the Steelers, like Justin Fields, he likes his tight ends. And so those two things to me, being no other receivers there, I think Justin Fields is a good thrower and can get the ball to his tight end. And then just being from a football family, I think he's so worth the upside in the 19th round. He should 100% be on your teams if you can get him in your last couple of rounds.
Agreed. Moving on to our 17, 18, 19 picks. We have two Fergusons back-to-back, Arroyo and Jonnu Smith again. So I do want to talk a little bit Jonnu Smith. He was 4th, 5th last year. We have him all the way down to 20, and you got to get him in the 9th round. And I see Justin smiling, but I'm going to start with Chance. Tell me your thoughts on Jonnu. Why are we having him this far?
I don't know, because Justin, above everyone else, understands that Jonnu has a great situation in that he is an Arthur Smith dude, right? Jonnu Smith is like the Cordell Patterson of tight ends to Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith likes him. And so as much as I like Pat Freiermuth, as much as I think he's going to be good, I think Jonnu, I think he takes a big hit, but he has every opportunity in that Arthur Smith offense to also be a target hog on yet another team who's their wide receiver too, right? Roman Wilson.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Okay, Calvin Austin.
Okay.
Right. So I don't know. I think there's still an avenue there for him to do well, and maybe you get good Aaron Rodgers play this year, and if you do, he can move the ball around. I don't know. He's low for us, but again, what did he finish last year, tight end wise? Was he tight end
5?
5 on Miami before now he's moved to Steelers.
That's crazy. Do you think about Jonnu Smith being the tight end 5? Would never have picked it. I don't think he'll finish anywhere close to that, but I think there's a path for him to provide fantasy value because of Justin's boy, Arthur.
Okay, to that point, I heard the best stat today. Jonnu Smith has played with Arthur Smith, I think 4 or 5 years. What's his average finish, I should say? You guys
that's a great. You're about to make a really good point.
17.
Oof.
Tight end 17. I think everybody thinks he's Arthur Smith's boy because he runs the ball sometimes as a tight end. I don't even know who the best tight end, because I like Washington a lot. I don't understand why they don't play him. I just don't understand it. He is a freak. He's like 6'8", runs like a horse. And they're just like, nah, you're just gonna sit the bench because we have Jonnu and Pat Freiermuth over here. They're gonna ball out for us. Trade him to us. Trade him to the Falcons. We'll use him. I don't understand. He's a 2nd round pick. What are we doing?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a big fan of Jonnu. On this Steelers offense, it's going to be super run heavy, and the time they threw the ball, it's going to go to DK Metcalf. And if I could actually see Warren getting some reps out at like a split back type thing, right? And then having Caleb Johnson just run the ball. I just don't see that. him utilizing it. Aaron Rodgers typically doesn't utilize his tight ends. He did a little bit in Green Bay with a couple of guys early on, but since then really hasn't. So I think we all agree we love Arroyo, the rookie for Seattle, because there really is nobody else. They let go of the veteran. So I think 19 might be a little bit low. This kid can ball out. He has every opportunity to show us that we're wrong at 19, and maybe he can sneak into the top 12. Any ads on that one from either one of you?
No, but I have a question, and I guess maybe we should get through our last group here. But I have a rookie tight end question that I want to posit to you guys once we get through this next year. That I think Arroyo and Ferguson, who again we haven't, he's a guy on this list. We have Mason Taylor, Ferguson, and Arroyo, all a group of really good rookie tight ends in this group. And the Rams traded up for Ferguson. I know they're really excited about him. I think he could be somebody that does really well this year. But I have a rookie tight end question once we get through the last tier of these tight ends.
That's
but
fair
also,
enough.
I really like Arroyo. I think he's going to be good there because JSN is a stud. And I think, is it Horton? Torrey Horton?
Yep.
They have a rookie. They have a rookie.
Hey, they got Cooper Kupp too. Don't forget about him.
Oh gosh, I totally forgot.
The ghost of Cooper Kupp.
That's why I forgot about him, man. He's Casper the Friendly Ghost out there.
So I want to talk about Jake Ferguson real quick. And Chance were we were texting a little bit, and I said this in the short. Like, listen, guys, if we should all be praying and hoping. And Chance made this point on text. This is all Chance's point. This is not my point. We should all be hoping and praying that Micah Parsons gets traded. Because if you look at that depth chart of the Cowboys and you look at the defense without Micah Parsons, it gets real bad real fast. And if it's real bad real fast, they can be Bengals level.
Yeah, they'll be the Bengals.
Of offense with Jake, with CD, with George Pickens, whoever is playing running back, no idea yet. They're going to be really good that way. I am really high on Dak. I think you guys saw that with our quarterback rankings. But, Matt, what do you think?
So Ferguson is the guy. Here's my thoughts on it. If I take a Colston or a Warren earlier, right, and maybe wait a couple rounds, Ferguson's the guy I want to take. All it takes is one injury from either one of those wide receivers, and Ferguson easily becomes the number 2 in that offense. I don't think Parsons going anywhere. I really don't. I don't think in Jerry's world, as weird as he is he going to let Micah walk? So I don't think that'll happen. But Ferguson, to me, is that sneaky guy who has been a top 10 wide receiver or, a tight end, I guess, when wide receivers get injured. I like him a lot. He's just a veteran guy that can make things happen. So I like him. 17's a little low for me, but I'll take the bargain. Moving on to 21 through 24. Again, Strange, Ertz, Fannin, who I like, and Gadsden, the undrafted. You can get him undrafted right now for the Chargers. But just kind of going through these guys, who do you like, Chance, out of this group? As a late round dart, you're like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take a stab at one of these guys.
Dude, for me, it's Brenton Strange. The other 3 guys, Zach Ertz, Harold Fannin Jr., and even Gadsden, who I know has gotten a lot of hype in camp, and I think has a chance to be really good. Brenton Strange doesn't have the competition for his position as at tight end that Ertz and Fannin does. And again, you're taking shots. I understand that you can't expect Brenton Strange to get a lot of targets when T-Law is going to be throwing to Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter. And so there's that. But again, I really think that he has every opportunity to step into a lot of targets vacated from Evan Ingram. And of these guys, I think Ertz has, a second-year player in Ben Sinnott that gets a lot of buzz that's coming up behind him. Fannin has to compete with Njoku. And, we have Rodney Gadsden at 24. I think he could be good, but Charger's going to Charger, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's Strange. Strange is the guy in this tier that I would throw a really late pick on. He's the kind of guy that if I were to skip drafting a defense just to pick up an extra guy to see how things shake out, he'd be that guy.
Yeah, and I put the little trophy next to him as these guys that could potentially help win a league here. And you nailed that, Chance. One of these is Strange and Arroyo and Taylor. I agree. These are all late round guys, 19, 19, and 16, that if you pair them with another tight end, play it, just kind of see how it goes, for sure. I do like Fannin, but I believe you're correct. He's going to have to earn it. Njoku will probably get injured, and then Fannin may never give that job back. So moving on to our final setup here before we get to Chance's question. We can kind of see 25 through 32. I only throw these up there. You're probably not drafting any of these guys unless it's super late. Goddard, probably like, whoa, you guys, why is Goddard so low? For me, just the OC left, who is kind of tight end friendly. Kellen Moore has been that way for a long time. I think we'll probably see a slide off. I think Goddard's 30 this year. I'd have to double check for that. I'll look at that right now. But Justin, anybody out of this group that you like as a late flyer?
Say his name, Justin. Say his name.
It's not Chig.
Dang it is Chig. Chig's the answer.
Chig. No, it's not. I'm really high on the Panthers this year, as much as I don't want to be. I think that offense is going to be fun with T-Mac, with the ghost of Adam Thielen. I think Xavier Legette will be a really good number 2. I think Sanders, from what I've heard in camp, has looked really good. As they said he slimmed down. He was really decent at Texas. It's his second year. I think Bryce Young is going to figure it out and be relevant in fantasy. Again, I probably won't draft him unless it's a crazy deep league, but I think he could be someone that is a very good stream option.
Well, Chance, go ahead and talk about Chig real quick. I know you're big on him.
Listen, Matt, I don't want to steal your thunder because I know you're a big Chig guy. Yeah, so why don't you give us the Chig rundown? Because my arguments for Chig are the same that they've been for every other dart throw tight end.
There's nobody else there.
Exactly.
There's nobody there. It's like
the ghost of Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, don't come at Calvin that way.
Hey, here's the thing with Chig. Chig is 25. Okay, he's still a really young tight end, and he's an outstandingly athletic tight end. And I think we've been waiting, and he hasn't done anything, and he's easy to forget about. But what is a rookie quarterback's? Who's a rookie quarterback's best friend?
Tight end.
It's a tight end. And I have all the faith in the world in Cam Ward. I hope he balls out. The most disrespected number 1 overall pick all time.
Yeah, and Chig is kind of I know he's a tight end, but he's 6'3", 238. He's kind of that hybrid tight end wide receiver.
He's like a better Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. Oh, ouch. I mean, when I start looking at like the wide receivers, and we already mentioned Calvin Ridley. The only other one that I see on here, I mean, you see Traylon Burks, but they got right. That's not even a thing.
He's off the team. Traylon Burks is
right.
Off the
That's
team.
what I'm saying. Right. He's not even there anymore. That's what I'm saying. That's not a thing. But Shamir Dyke is right. So we haven't talked about him yet, but that's who Ward asked for because that is his old teammate.
That's Xavier Restrepo.
Oh, Xavier Restrepo. I apologize. But Shamir has done some good things in camp too. So Restrepo, you're right. But Dyke has done some really good things in camp that I've seen. So but again, going back to who is your number 2, it's got to be Chig.
Yeah.
So I like him as well.
And I think of those receivers, and I know, we'll get to receivers rankings in the future, but just for what it's worth with Chig, again, he is one of the most seasoned pass catchers on this team. I think you could take Restrepo or Chamari Dyke or even Alec Ayumanor, who was a stud out of Stanford. He made Travis Hunter look like a fool. You could put those guys in a can, shake it up, and roll it out. I think one of them will come out as a really good, really productive friend of Cam Ward's on the football field. But to me, the first in line there is Chig.
I was right. Goddard is 30. He just turned 30 in January. The one guy that I want to talk about before we get to your question, Chance, about the tight ends is don't forget about him. And we keep saying it because I don't know how many times you said his name last year, but it's Mike Gesicki.
Mm-hmm.
He's 29. He's going to be 30. And he just seems to get things done. If you need a waiver wire guy for whatever reason, Gesicki seems to get it done. Eric All, I don't think Eric All is the guy as much as I want him to be from Michigan, but Mike Gesicki. So,
Hey,
Chance, let's
real quick though. Shout out to all those old 30-year-olds. Shout out to little brother Blaze, who turns 30 at the end of this year. And as much as he gives me crap for being old and older, he's washed in the NFL at this point. You know, when you reach the age where you're washed as an NFL player, it's tough. Happy dirty 30 this month, brother.
Yeah, you got the OLD. That's just how it works.
Oof.
Chance, so your question. Let's address your question on these rookie tight ends.
So here's my question. Of the rookie tight ends that we had on our list, which let's put Warren and Loveland in their own tier. And then you have the next group of guys. You have Mason Taylor that were on our list. You had Mason Taylor. Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. Fannin, Arroyo, Ferguson. You got another 4 or 5 guys that were on our list as rookies. Which of that second tier of rookie tight ends do you think could challenge or even surpass Warren or Loveland as a number 1 or the number 2 scoring rookie tight end? Like, you know, if you're looking for that rookie breakout in a tight end, and I know we're all high on Loveland and Warren, do you think there's any of that next tier of rookie tight ends that you think could challenge those guys for top 2 rookie tight ends of this year?
Sure, I think there's always a chance. And let me kind of spin it a different way. Last year, we talked about Navers and Marvin Harrison Jr. the entire time. Mm-hmm. And we didn't really talk about BTJ, who was a slant and go guy, right? So there's always a chance. There's always an opportunity somebody could go. Now, the difference is all those second-tier guys, in my mind, are dart throws. Mm-hmm. You're just kind of like, yep, okay, we're going to take a shot at it. To me, there's probably only 1 or 2. I think Arroyo has a chance. And I think, let me scroll back up out of that just so our group can see here.
Yeah, and really it's this
Mason Taylor, right? I think Mason Taylor, one of those 2 guys, could have a shot. I don't think Fannin's there yet. Gadsden's not there yet. I don't think Ferguson's there yet, and he certainly won't be there if Stafford is not available. Mm-hmm. So that's my take on it. Justin, any spinning on that?
I think it's pretty easy for me. It's Mason Taylor, just because he's going to get touches. I don't think a lot of those guys will get enough targets to be relevant. I don't like Seattle's offense at all this year. I think I would draft one dude on that team, and it would be Ken Walker. I think Sam Darnold's going to fall on his face. That is totally me. I think, again, Kevin O'Connell, I've said this a million times, is a really good coach. I do not trust Elijah to break out in that offense right away, even though they let go of Noah Fant. Noah Fant has been non-existent. That trade was an actual, like, them getting rid of, like, that whole trade between Russell Wilson, Noah Fant, all that stuff was just a weird trade on both sides. It's like they both lost.
It's terrible.
But
Justin, let me ask you this though. So if Sam Darnold falls apart, and I know Chance and I are big fans of this guy, Milroe comes in game 4. Does that change anything for you?
Not really. I think he's going to be maybe the 3rd, 4th option on that team. I think JSN is still, he's going to get at least 100 targets. Cooper Kupp should get at least 90. And Walker, Zach Charbonnet, he's the 5th option right now. It's just tough. Noah Fant was not featured in that offense. I don't think the tight end will ever be featured in that offense. It takes a special OC and a special tight end to get featured in offenses. But like Chance said, there is absolutely no one to throw to. It's like we're playing backyard football and there's only 2 teams, but there's only one guy to pick, and it's Mason Taylor. So like we have to pick him to throw the ball. So like he's obviously going to get more opportunity than Arroyo. Arroyo is probably the better freak. Harold Fannin, Gadsden are bigger freaks than Mason Taylor, but Mason Taylor's just going to catch the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like we said in this channel a lot, volume is king when it comes to fantasy football.
And that's why I asked. My technical difficulties when we were talking about Warren and Loveland, and I love Colston Loveland for all the reasons that anyone in the 208 would love him as an Idaho boy. I think he's better than Warren, but it's a mouth problem, right? Like there are too many mouths to feed in Chicago. And it's really hard to think that one of them's, like not only is it competing with Cole Kmet in that tight end room, but you have DJ Moore and Luther Burden, Rome Odunze. You have so many mouths to feed there, where you have two for the Jets, and they're both poverty franchises. So it's like
Jets taking all the shots on our
guys. I'm sorry. It's been so long.
One podcast at 7 months and just is just railing our.
I've just missed you guys, and this is my love language. Okay, this is my love language.
Can I talk about Colson?
Yeah, because I want to add to that too. Go ahead.
Okay, so I am not scared of Colson at all. He is the first pick. He is the first pick of that regime. I think that says a lot about what Ben Johnson wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I think seeing DJ Moore at running back, I'm just like, let's go, baby. Like, let's see what he's got, dude. I'm so excited. Like, just play him at running back. Just play him at running back in this way, because DeAndre Swift is not going to do anything. We already saw Ben Johnson cut him once, and the fact that Colson was injured, and the first day they're like, yeah, first team reps over Cole Kmet, who's not a bad player. He just signed a fat deal, and like some of the stuff, like someone compare like the way Loveland runs his routes to Kelsey, like he's got that little bit of wiggle, like he's going to be a scary tight end. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but he's going to be good. He's young too. He's 21. He's a baby.
He's very, very young. He's very young. High draft capital. That's why I think I get some targets. You have to understand Ben Johnson's offense, and nobody's going to watch this. Very few are going to watch me say this, but as much as he is a scheming, high-flying, things going, Ben Johnson offense is built from inside out. He builds it around his running backs. He builds it around his offensive line. He builds it around with his tight ends, gets things going, and it opens up the receiver stuff. What he did with Goff was remarkable, right? And now you have a Caleb Williams who's like, and sometimes as a Bears fan, I just go, really? I watched film. I'm not going to be overly like, yeah, Bears they're going to win the Super Bowl. Caleb Williams absolutely consistently missed throws, wide open throws to wide receivers because he did not read what was going on. So he has got a lot of work to do. He is not the end all. He's very talented, but he has a ton of work to do. But getting these pieces like a Loveland, we'll see what they do with running backs. I'm not sold they're done with running backs yet. I would not surprise me that they go out and trade and get somebody. Maybe a White, maybe Rashad White, maybe, who knows?
Go get Brees and release him. Get Brees, please.
Yeah, go get Brees. So
that would be so fun.
They're going to build this offense more and more, and that is a different thing in Chicago. It has always been a defensive first town. We are the monsters of the Midway, defense. So I applaud Ben Johnson for trying to build something, and Colston Loveland. A statement was made when they went and got him at 10 because none of us thought they were going to take him at 10. Nobody. So, and even the Bears fans, they were like, whoa, and they did it. So kudos to them. But oh gosh, man, we're kind of at the end here. Whoa. We're at the end. What are your guys' thoughts, right? As fans or people watching in, what are your thoughts about our rankings? Let us know. Leave a comment. We want to know about it. I do want to name that little football character guy that we got. So somebody let me know, give me a name, and we'll name that guy. But Chance, before I guess we sign off, we're about an hour in. Any final remarks? Welcome back, my friend. But anything for you?
Thank you, man. I feel like you should rename me Freelance Chance because I just have to pop in when I can. You know, it's farm season and it's been so busy, but no, I'm so stoked for football to be back. You know, just because I haven't been on the pod doesn't mean I'm not consistently putting down 5 or 6 football podcasts a day in what I listen to, you know, and I was stoked. We spoke just a little bit on Ben Johnson and last remarks on tight ends. I heard something really cool today about Ben Johnson and why I love Colston Loveland. I think he's going to be really good. But also why in my rankings, I had Laporta a little lower. But Ben Johnson was a guy who would go in and on Monday, he would take film from the team and he would put his game plan together and he'd come out on Thursday from a dark room with everything he wanted to do and lay it out there. And the offense was so good. And I really hope for the Lions' sake that they didn't just miss their window because last year was it. But I really hope we're not overvaluing what the Lions team is without Ben Johnson. And it just makes me really nervous for all the pieces in Detroit, which with Ben Johnson has been so explosive and so good. It'll be really interesting to see what that is. Is it Ben Johnson? Is it not? So I'm stoked about that. I think it's gonna be really good, but I missed the 208, man. I am stoked to be able to be back on as often as I can. And then as we get into football, man, I'll be here. I'll be back with the boys. Back with the boys.
Justin, anything to add?
I feel like my high exposure rate this year for tight ends will probably be Travis Kelce and David Njoku. I just think their paths are really easy. Again, I'm going to wait till that Rice suspension comes down, but those would probably be the two guys I target. I know you guys saw my last mock draft. In the second round, I was really between Brock Bowers, Trey McBride. I think those guys are so good at football, but I think getting some of the guys that I mentioned, me and Matt talked about at the very beginning, some of the guys you can get in that early second, mid-second, I think are probably worth more a little bit, but those are probably the two guys that I'd probably look out for the most.
Yep, agreed. And speaking of that, we have a mock draft tomorrow we're going to be covering, so tune in tomorrow. We will get everybody on here. We may open it up to the public to be able to draft with us. It should be fun. We do have quarterback rankings coming up, and not quarterbacks, sorry, wide receiver, running backs, and our sleepers and our busts coming up. And we're going to get that all in before the end of this month because their drafts are happening. Right? I mean, they're already going. So we want to make sure you guys are prepared. Chance, you had a question.
Do we have the format for the mock for tomorrow? Do we have a little preview of what it's going to be?
I'm going to do 10 teams this time, and just kind of the same format: one quarterback, two running backs, two receivers, probably two flexes, a tight end. I haven't decided if I want to do 3 wide receivers because I feel like a lot of leagues are doing that right now, and I think it's good for people to understand how much more value drafting wide receivers are in that format as opposed to running backs. So I'm still trying to decide. I'll probably put it out tonight, and then maybe we can open to the public. So.
Yep. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. We are going to get out of here. It's great to see you. So until next time, we will see you next time. Have a good night, everyone.